Thank you for coming. Good afternoon, good evening. We're in that time of the day that I'm not sure how to greet you, but anyway, good for you to come here. Thank you. We are starting sharp. We're in Switzerland, so we have to start sharp. And let's go for this talk. That's creating a blockchain platform for our citizens and companies. That we call it blockchain for all. Okay, let's explain a little bit how does the initiative come and what's the scope and ambit of it. Okay. Well, you can see there Biscaia, a big red leaf. That's the regional government. I want to show you later. And I am Gorka, Oteiza, infrastructure architect. I work for the public IT company, that's Lantik, that's on the small corner over there, that provides all the IT services for the regional government of Bizkaia. So let's give you first a bit of background, and then we'll start into technical details. But going for the background, Bizkaia, the region, is located there, and Bilbao is its capital. Maybe some of you know Bilbao for the Guggenheim, tourism, food, pinchos, everything. Okay, we are there. And now we are here in Basel. So it doesn't look far away, but, well, it's quite a distance. And what is Bizkaia? Bizkaia is a region. That region you see there, that comprises 112 municipalities and more or less 1,150,000 people. So it's quite a nice population. Bizkaia has very specific and very different characteristics from other regions of Spain, and it's that it has its own parliament. It has its own parliament and can make its own laws. And if you can make laws, you can do taxation, and you can get money. And with that money, you have to provide services, because the money is to take care of your citizens. So that's what we do. That's what the Bizkaia regional government does. And you will see, later we'll explain, that all those 112 municipalities, we provided a big service 10 years ago to them, so that every municipality, even the big or the small ones, they provide the same digital services. There's no digital gap. That's going to go later into the blockchain also, but that's a detail I leave you there. So why did we want to go for blockchain? Why and what? But let's start for why. So Lantik, as I told you earlier, is the public IT company of the government. We've been running for 37 years, so it's quite a long time. And we've been taking care of the IT needs of the region for all those years. For 20 years, we've had an area department division of innovation that has changed over years the location into the company and the name, because things change over time and companies change over time. We've done things that we are proud of. Some of them are big ones, some of them are not so big, but we're proud of them. We did the first tax declaration on the internet. That's what they told us. Nobody else had that record set, so they told us ours was the first, 1998. So we think it's pretty nice for a regional government. We had the first accessible portal in all the European administrations, the first one in 2003. We did something strange over there. That's the first digital document of a cave. Okay, we've always scanned and digitalized, I don't know, books or pictures or any other things, but what about a cave? Cave deteriorates over time. So we have that digital document, and that's preserved there for the eternity. That's the first time with lasers 10 years ago. And we did two things that are services to our citizens. First was in 2017, we gave the free email to all the citizens, okay, through the Bizkaitik initiative. The Bizkaitik initiative is the initiative that builds a common digital ground for services for all those 112 initiative municipalities. So, in 2016, we were, from the innovation side, looking at blockchain. Okay, this is a technology that's coming on, could be interesting. What could we do with it? First, we think that the concept is disruptive. It's a disruptive technology because it democratizes the information. Nobody is the owner of the information itself. It's distributed, so everyone can validate and verify it. So we thought it would be interesting to use it for our projects as an administration, because we have many departments that have to exchange information, and sometimes you do a paper here, you have to take the other way, and it takes a lot of time. So we thought it could be interesting for us, for the government, to solve many problems, time-consuming problems. And then we said, why don't we do it in a wider way? Why don't we do it wider focus? As we did with the free email for all the citizens, and as we did with the IT services for all the municipalities, why don't we prepare and create a platform, a blockchain platform, for all citizens and companies that they can use as a service for free? We build the platform, we take care of it, and we let them use it. Why not? Let's try. I mean, innovation. We have to try different things. If we don't, we're never going to improve. So once we decided we wanted to do that, we had to choose a technology. We had two technologies that were in our radar. We had Hyperledger and Ethereum. Which one to choose? Okay, you start looking at technical specs, and you read a lot, you do some tests, and you see two columns with many things that one technology has, the other has in a different way, and which one to choose. For us, there were two things that were really important. That was confidential transactions and private and permission networking. We wanted to build a blockchain for all network that everybody could get into. They could ask for it, but they had to ask first to get into the network, not being public. So with the permission network, that was easy to get, and we wanted that. So what characteristics, technical characteristics, we thought we should need? Well, we needed it to be permissioned. We needed to know the participants. We wanted to have interoperability with other systems and to partition the data through channels or similar ways. We didn't want to condition the platform to any specific or hybrid clouds or specific physical platforms. In fact, we have two data centers where we run all the machines, and we wanted to run this platform in two data centers. We wanted it to be modular, with the possibility to replace modules and include new modules. And we had two parts that we had set our focus on. One was the CA. The CA, we wanted to use the internal one provided by the product, but then we could expand it. And we also wanted to have an enhanced and advanced monitoring and management. So now, and we also had another minor characteristics. And I say minor because scalability or high availability or based in Docker or cryptography is not minor. But we're not the main ones we were looking for. We were looking for the first 5 ones. Multilingual possibility was also very important for us because we have 3 official languages. Well, not official. English is not official, but nearly official. Everybody uses it. Officials are Spanish and Basque. But English is worldwide used, and we had a lot of tourism, so we wanted the platform to be able to communicate in those 3 languages. So in 2018, this year, we started to follow a process to develop and to deploy a platform that could be used for everybody. 10 days ago, we set our platform in production. I mean, it's in production now. Nobody's using it yet because we have to prepare contracts with people, agreements, and we have to do some proofs of concept. But the hardware, the infrastructure, is ready yet. Isn't ready there. So, as a public administration, we needed to do a public call. We needed a technology partner. We wanted somebody with experience that could lead the way and help us. So in March 2018, we started moving. We did a public call with the specific characteristics we wanted, not the product, but the characteristics. And in April, we got back all the results from that call, all the offers, and the result was that Hyperledger Fabric was what we needed. With the characteristics we set, was the tool we needed to use. So in May, we did the contract with our technological partner, that's Icertis, a company from Spain. And we set the deadlines. We wanted to work over 2 years. We wanted to have a 6 months our platform available, and we wanted to continue another 18 months because technology evolves, and we still didn't know how were we going to use it. We knew we wanted blockchain for all our citizens and companies, but they will define the uses. So we deploy the platform, and then we start talking and see how it should work. 2 key ideas, okay? The platform has 2 sides. We have a production projects platform with 3 environments, as in every enterprise that has development, pre-production, and production. Production, the one that's running, looking to the public, and the previous ones where you can test or you can make mistakes. But as we wanted this platform to be open to people that had no experience with blockchain and who didn't know how to proceed, we also wanted to have a platform for experimentation projects. A platform that, through Composer, with a web interface, they could start defining the data models, their schemes, the smart contracts, do some coding, some easy coding, and prepare small applications or just case uses or ideas to see if it worked. And we wanted to complement that web interface with an API. Okay? If you wanted to code in a further way, then you didn't have to use the web interface. You could go further. So we have those 2 platforms. And as we said, the special idea of the experimentation platform was to make it wide focus to citizens and companies. That's why we thought it was important to have experimentation projects in a platform, separate platform. So let's go for an overview of the products we used. I suppose you have seen this greenhouse like 1,000 times today. Here comes another one. First, Hyperledger Fabric. We use that one. What else? Well, these 3 products. The Composer was ideal for the experimentation platform for people that had no experience and wanted to try. The Explorer, to have control of the platform, what's going on. And Caliper, to do some tests. So let's go into the technical details, not too deep, but I'm going to go through 3 or 4 slides of technical details before going back to the strategy or platform ideas. So we wanted to have these modules, Kafka and Zookeeper. We needed them to have the information on the ledger, to store it and coordinate the processes. We needed to have the ordering service with the peers and the orderers that were doing all those tasks. And then we also had the certifying authority. Those 5 modules were going to be implemented on every node of the blockchain. So we decided that for these 3 environments we talked earlier, we should need 1 node for development, 4 nodes for pre-production, and 4 nodes for production. Why 4? Well, we needed a platform that the platform should be fault tolerant. We have 2 data centers, so we thought 2 nodes on each data center could be a good idea. If the platform grows, we can go for more nodes, but for the moment, that's the initial and defined platform. So each node has these characteristics. Talking about the modules, those 4 modules, and the CA we talked earlier, well, they need resources. We decided and defined that Kafka needed 6 CPU, the Zookeeper 2, the Orderer 2, all those RAMs, and in total, every node to run properly needed to be 12 cores and 60 gigabytes of RAM. So what happens then? Okay. We need machines. How do we deploy those machines? Those machines, we deploy them on virtual. Okay? We are going to go later at the end with that, but we did 9 virtual machines deployed on 2 physical servers. Quite big servers, but just 2 servers were enough to hold those machines. If we go to the architecture with the diagram of the modules, we could see the 5 modules there, and this is what we had. We have the ledger in the center with the Kafka zookeeper that maintain the information. And we have the peers and the orders on one side and the other side that have the production channels and have the experimentation channels, both ways. But this scheme is quite confusing, so we draw a new one that it's a bit easier to understand. We have 4 machines. We have all the modules, or nearly all the modules on all the machines, and they are used in production projects or in experimentation projects. Those experimentation projects can be accessed through the web interface or through the API. Both options are there available. Okay? So more or less, this is all the technical part we're having. But what happens with the products? We have talked about Hyperledger Fabric, but we haven't talked about all the products that should be important. For example, in blockchain, here we have the fabric, but the base of everything is the hypervisor. We are virtualizing, and we are using Red Hat technology for that. Sorry. Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization is the base for all those 9 virtual machines we talked earlier. Over that, we have the operating system they run. They run RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay? And then there are two other things I would like to point that are the high availability and monitoring. We are doing now that with Kubernetes. But we plan to move that, to change to OpenShift. Because we think that having all with the partner, with our Red Hat partner, is the most interesting idea, to have all the modules on the same line. Also, OpenShift has extended capabilities over Kubernetes. So, well, we have it for other platforms in our company, so it's interesting to reuse it. And then the CA. The CA that we have now is internal. As you have seen on previous scheme, it's a small CA that's on one side. But we have a public CA on the Bizkaia and the Basque Country region. That's Isempe. It's over there. So we are going to delegate all those tasks on the external CA. Because why should we, government or company, IT company, be in charge of creating the keys and all the cryptography that's behind when there is a public company that's specialized on that? That's why we thought at the beginning that we should think in a modular architecture where we could replace things. So we could replace the HA monitoring, we could replace the CA. And this way we are getting closer to our objective. This is a technological summary that more or less talks about all the technologies that are behind this blockchain for all service we want to give. But what about next steps we have to give? Because we have the platform in production from the last 10 days. We wanted to finish it for December, and we are 1 month ahead. So that's nice. That's OK. We did it, but we need to test it, and we need to test it a lot. We want to make the platform solid. So what kind of tests we need? We need to run functional tests. We need to try to break its security. Let's see if it's secure. And what about the HA? We have to shut down nodes and see if they respond correctly when the information is being used, recorded, and consulted. And benchmarking. We want to know if the platform will be able to support a big throughput of data and information. We still don't know it. Nobody's using it. But they will in the next month. So we have to be ready for that, because we are offering a service. OK? So we are going to do a proof of concept with the regional government, with the Bizkaia government, with our owner, the owner of Lantik, the company. And we have a first project planned. That's a tax fraud control project. OK? That project is already running. It's been running for more than 1 year. And they are storing information in the traditional way. They're storing information in databases. But that information stored in databases, we know what happens. They can change it. They can manipulate it. And it's tax fraud control. So it's very tempting. So why not use blockchain? And we offered them the idea, and they said, why not? So when the project is evolved in the next months, we are going to link it with the blockchain platform. But then, those were the technical steps, a bit of a strategy at the end, but was internal strategy, in-house strategy. But what happens with the outside strategy, with other people? Well, as we said, we want this platform to be for everyone in the Bizkaia region, companies, citizens, agents, organizations. So we need to define and get to some agreements with people. We have to define the contracts. How are you going to use the platform? What kind of information are you going to store? I don't want to know what exactly the data, but don't do illegal things. You have to sign some kind of agreements. Also, the resources used for the platform are public, so they should be used wisely. So we have to do regulations and uses. And we need to write some documents there. We are on that way. That's sometimes the most difficult part. The technical part uses to be easy, but writing agreements, it's sometimes more difficult. We have entities. We have a lot of entities interested in being part of the platform. Okay? We have other governments, the Araba and Gipuzkoa regional governments, that are the equivalent to the Bizkaia region government. Sometimes they are not as big technologically, but they are also doing very nice and interesting things. And when we explained the project to them, they loved it. And they said, we want to be part of it. And they are thinking of being part of it in two ways. They're being interested in being part of it as users, or why not, as hosting nodes. We have 4 nodes now in our data centers, but they also have data centers. They could host 2 nodes, 3 nodes. Why not? That's also an option that's open. We have ISEMPE, the public, the Basque public CA. That's a key for us, because they're going to take charge of all the cryptography and all the public and private keys, issuing and managing them, and certificates, revocates, everything, that we are not going to have to deal with it, because they are the experts. Then the municipalities of Bizkaia. Some of the municipalities are very small, and they are not able to even think about blockchain, but they know what they want to do. So through Bizkaitik, that's that big portal that encompasses all those 112 municipalities, they are going to have it very easily to access the platform, because they already have many services there. So this could be another service, I don't know, document registry, a census, who knows, many things. Then we've also reached agreements, or at least verbal agreements, with 2 enterprise clusters, very important in Spain, that are Gaia and Esle. Gaia is in the Spanish ambit, and Esle is in the Basque country. And the 2 of them, when you add them, they have 260 enterprises, more than 260. And last year, they did a facturation of more than 5,000 million euro combined, with more than 20,000 employees. So they're interested in using the platform. They already have ideas. They are companies that they know what's their business and how they could profit of using a blockchain platform that they don't have to build and maintain. That's a public service for them. So it's a good benefit for boosting the enterprises. And then we also have startups and universities. Some universities have told us, well, it would be interesting to have all our experience of people, of our pupils, because you have information there that cannot be changed, and then you can go over it over time. So that's all we have in mind for the next months. And when we say next month, is the first semester of 2019. The production platform and the experimentation platform are available now. We have them ready and running. We need to test them. We need to make them strong and solid and make sure there is no problem with them. And then, with those agreements, open them to the public. So the second semester of 2018 is going to be interesting, because we'll start to see real things going in production and going for the people. And hopefully, in 2018, for this Hyperledger Global Forum, we will come again and we will tell you how is it working. Now we're just telling you the concept, the idea, Now we're just telling you that blockchain for all is a very good idea, and the Biscaya regional government is pushing to it for citizens and companies. So thank you very much. That was short. Now it's a turn for your Q&A if you want. That's it for my part. Any questions?
Thank you. How is it funded? What's the funding model?
The funding is by the local government, by the Biscaya regional government. It funds the Lantik IT enterprise. We buy the servers. We run the data center. We have all the contracts to do that, so they pay us. But it's the local government, the Biscaya region government, who funds all this. I mean, from the tax money, they destinate a part for new projects, for innovation projects, and for technology. And we presented this project to them, and they funded it, and they said, go for it.
So as a service to a Biscaya company or a Biscaya citizen, it's free service?
Yes. For citizens, it's free service, and for companies, it's also free service. That's the idea for now and for the future. It's like Biscaitic. Biscaitic was born in 2007, and it's been free since then for all the municipalities. All the services that they had, first there were websites, then there were termination services like enrolling or joining a municipality that were all free. All the technology was done for them. So this is going to be in the same way. As we have a parliament, as we have laws, and we get the taxes, we can decide how we use the money. So we have the money, and we think we can fund this. We've been able to fund other projects that have been running for a long time, so it will.
Of all the entities that expressed interest in being part of the platform, is your vision to have them run their own nodes, or will you run and maintain those nodes for the time being?
Well, it depends. For the moment, probably the only ones who will be able to run nodes will be the governments, because we are not sure about how we should that data be able to extend and that network to extend over private companies. We're not sure if we legally are allowed to do those kind of interactions. So at least they will have the peers and the orderers, well, mostly the peers. They will have just the clients to consume and to provide information to the blockchain network. But for the, let's go to this one, but for the Araba and Gipuzkoa regional governments or bigger municipalities, because some municipalities that are also through Biscaitic, they have their own computer IT departments, and they can also run their nodes. So the idea is to let them run nodes if they want, because it's in a peer-to-peer. But for companies, we still don't know how we should proceed. We are looking at that. Sorry, can you get the mic? I'm not listening.
You've said the environment and it's available, and you have a production environment, which is really great. But have you tested any proof of concept for any use cases?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Why not? I mean,
we were very busy building platform and trying to make it in production. We didn't have developers available now, so we were IT doing the infrastructure. We deployed the nodes, and with the enterprise that's our technological partner. They didn't have we didn't contract development services. We contract infrastructure services.
Okay.
So we only did the deployment of the infrastructure. This first month of 2018, with that project that we have for the taxation, that's here, tax fraud control, that project we will have developers available, and we will be able to test that project and even small proofs of concept.
But don't you think that you're imposing like certain technology in something that may not work with any potential use cases in the future? Like, because apparently you've selected the Hyperledger for Fabric, assuming that it's going to satisfy all the any future use cases.
Well, nobody knows how is the future going to be. We don't know all the future cases, of course, but we know that if we wanted a permission blockchain, and if we wanted to have channels and partitioning of the data, we should go to Hyperledger Fabric. So that was the main concern for us. And then the use cases will start building them. They will come. it was not our goal to start to establish all the use cases. These people that I showed in the last slide, these ones, all those Guyana's enterprises and also some startups, universities, they are starting to give us the use cases. And for the moment, it fits. But I don't know if it will fit in 1 year or 2 years. Maybe we'll have to change or migrate. I think not. I think the technology is quite good and quite solid. And it provides a lot of things we could need. But blockchain is very new for everybody. So I don't know the future. But now it's working, theoretically.
I mean, your theme is just blockchain for all. So, and I think that you wanted to have it available for everybody, right? Have you thought about the identity, like which identity is going to be used, or not yet?
No, the identity side is going to be, partially at least, the CA part is going to be managed through Isempe. But we have not thought about the unique identity or digital identity side. We haven't focused on that way.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, I was wondering if you have any plans on integrating with Alastria. I know that they're using Quorum, so is that part of your strategy in thinking?
Well, it could be. I mean, it's not closed. Here, you can see there are others. Others, Alastria could be an integration, or it could be just a gateway to exchange information. We haven't thought about that for the moment. We are starting regional, and then we'll start thinking in other options. But it's not a yes, it's not a no. We don't have a fixed plan for that. It falls into the other section because as a regional government, we're focusing firstly on our region, on citizens, and everybody that's around. So Alastria is national, has a wider scope. So we don't know how we're going to set on that. But for the moment, all these people, they are quite interested, and it's going to be a good service for them. It's like what we said about the municipalities with Bizkaitik. We did for our region. We could have tried to do some kind of agreement with other big projects that handled another municipalities in Spain, but we thought we should start building our own house and then trying to make it bigger or better.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so no more questions. Anyway, I'll be around today and tomorrow. Feel free to ask me any questions. And the email was somewhere over there. So thank you again for coming, and see you.